Am I the asshole for asking my sister, what did you expect, after her husband left her for a younger woman? My 48F sister, Caroline, 45F, has spent the past 20 years bragging that because she is 10 years younger than her husband, Ethan, 55M, that by the time she hits 40 plus, Ethan's sex drive will have plummeted too low to pursue others, and the 20-somethings won't want to date men past 35. Ethan was 34, and my sister a week from turning 24 when they first got together officially. At the time, 34-year-old Ethan was a newly minted senior VP with a 35-year-old wife, Emma, and 4-year-old daughter. Ethan told her that Emma became a sanctimonious mommy type after she gave birth, stopped waking up at 5 a.m. to exercise, withheld sex, and became a negative, nagging shrew. Ethan physically left Emma for Caroline, but it was Emma who filed for divorce. Caroline was angry because she claims Emma was the one who filed for divorce, yet she's the one who became bitter and hostile after the divorce happened. For a while, I sympathized with Caroline because everybody criticized her relationship. However, it felt like Caroline and Ethan made the fact that Ethan was punching above his weight in terms of having a younger woman, their entire personality as a couple and individuals. I think it's because Ethan was poor into his early 20s and said he thought the best he could ever do was the sort of attractive, after a few beers, truck stop waitress. Back then, it was much easier for somebody with no connections to rise, and Ethan did. Then, after his divorce and before marrying Caroline, Ethan started his own firm and began making even more money. Caroline signed a prenup but maintained that it would never be used. Caroline used laugh when Emma told her, "There's always younger women out there," and Caroline replied that she asked Ethan and he said a 10-year age gap is gigantic to him, and that Caroline was the combination of somebody who he'd always see as much younger, while also being able to relate to her. Caroline would also say, in a place where her stepdaughter could hear her saying it, that Emma has aged so much faster than Ethan and that she's likely regularly mistakenly referred to as her daughter's grandmother. Well, all this about "he will always see me as much younger" disappeared a few years ago. Caroline started becoming very withdrawn and miserable. She'd act out in ways, but Ethan would not even bat an eye at her antics. Then suddenly, just before the holidays, Ethan picked a fight by telling her her hand mannerisms are annoying and left the house. She found out he was living with a 24-year-old assistant he hired with no experience. Now, despite texts saying their 3 kids miss him and she doesn't deserve this when she's never denied him sex, he's filed for divorce. Caroline came to me crying and would go on rants about how Ethan will realize the 24 you sees him as grandpa. I rolled my eyes and said, "What did you expect?" And that I had no sympathy when for years I've had to listen to her saying age gap, detractors are bitter losers, and that Ethan will always see her as a prize. I also told her that 10 years is barely the starting point when it comes to trophy wife relationships. She got angry and screamed, "Are you calling me old when Ethan's pushing 60? And left. AITA,